Good morning. It's Tuesday morning, about 8:15 in the morning. I'm going to attempt to mow our smaller yard where the kids play and where Jackson and I sit on the swing, just to kind of keep down the bugs. All this rain has made our weeds go crazy. We don't have real grass here, we have weeds. But I figured I'd do a little video of me mowing. I don't know why, just for fun. I may attempt mowing the front yard, but I don't know. We have a huge front yard. We live on a corner lot, a large corner lot. So we also have a side yard, a backyard, and another little bitty piece of yard between our house and the neighbors. But for today, I'm gonna mow the little piece I'm standing in and possibly the two big front ones. I'll show you how they look. Here are our two front yards. I don't know if they look big on camera, but for me mowing, it's big because I'm not that much of a mower. And then here is the side yard that I'm going to mow. It's not big at all, and it's easy to get these weeds down and short to kind of keep down with the gnats and the mosquitoes. Wish me luck. Here I go. That didn't take too long, and I'm not too out of breath, so I may start with one side of the front yard, at least the side by the front porch, and see if I can get that much done. What are you up to today? That thing makes my hands go numb. The grass is a little wet. The mower wanted to keep dying. The grass is wet, and it's also thicker than it usually is. Let me show you guys a picture of my flowers that are growing. I'm tired and sweaty. It is so humid here. We are not used to this. When I was a little girl, I grew up in Oklahoma, and my dad used to take us hiking in the woods and through these little trails through a bunch of trees and stuff. And even after we moved to Texas, we would go back and visit my grandparents' farm. They had a 100-acre farm in Oklahoma. This is how I remember it being, just humid every day, all the time. I'm a Texas girl through and through now. I am not used to humidity. I am used to dry heat. But anyway, I got it done. It might not be pretty and I might not be graceful doing it, but I got it done. The only thing I like is the little area between the sidewalk and the street, and I'll go get that knocked out right quick. It's a little bit more difficult because it's on a slope, and it's also where the retaining wall drops off. So I'll go finagle that right quick, and the rest of the yards, either Jackie will do them when he gets home, or we'll probably pay my older son Josh to do them. We do that often, give him a little extra income, and he enjoys mowing. He doesn't mind. When you saw me first start the mower and it was pulling me 100 miles an hour, that's because he used it last, and he turns this beat up. He's 6 foot tall. I'm short little 5'2", and I don't intend to run behind the mower. I had to slow that sucker down. But I wanted to say something to any of you on a health journey or a weight loss journey or any kind of fitness journey. Start small. Find something little and start small. Don't get discouraged and don't give up. I could not have done this last year. I could not have walked around the parks that we walk around last year. I could barely walk and I had to stop. I've been discouraged at my weight loss journey lately. I lost 75 pounds last year by completely changing my diet and just moving more, getting up and going. And I've been in a stall for months and haven't lost anything. But I'm not going to get discouraged because I see these non-scale victories. I see that I can mow not just a little yard. I couldn't have even done that last year without stopping. Sorry, a car went by. It would have worn me out last year just to start the mower, just to get the mower out of the patio over here, get it started, and mow a little bit. I would have been out of breath. I would have been sore the rest of the day, and I probably would have went in and taken a little nap on the couch. But just by eating better, And walking, starting out small. The pond that Jackson and I usually walk at, last year, I would walk maybe a quarter of the way around, and I would have to sit on a bench or at a picnic table for a while. And then we'd walk a little bit more, and then I'd sit down for a while. But I was determined. I was determined I was going to get to where I could walk around that thing one whole time. And I can walk around it 2 or 3 times now. We still usually only do 1 lap around because that's all Jackson can handle. But we can go. When we went to San Antonio in the spring, we walked for days. We walked all around the Alamo. We walked all around SeaWorld all in one day. And then that night we walked from our hotel down to the Riverwalk and went to the Rainforest Cafe down there. So whatever journey you're on, start small. It's not going to happen all at once. It's going to get discouraging, but don't give up. Just keep going. One little change leads to another little change to another little change. And what you don't see on the scale, you will see in other ways. For instance, I can scoot the seat in my car way up from where I used to have. I used to have to scoot it so far back I had to stretch my leg to hit the gas and the brake. I can scoot way up now. I'm down 3 sizes of clothes. My body is flabby. You know, you see my arms. I have big bat wings. My stomach is saggy. I still have all those, you know, the extra skin, and I still have a ways to go. But when I look at that and I did get discouraged, I look at myself on a video and I see my arm flab hanging out and I think, oh, that's so gross. But then I have to stop myself and I have to just really be more appreciative because I did this. You know, last year this was filled. It was full. Last year was full. I do not like my skeleton looking face. I liked my chubby face a little bit better, but this is beauty that I carry around, and it's beauty that you carry around too. So don't get discouraged. Don't give up. Start small. Start small. One little bitty baby step. You can do it. Let me go get the rest of this knocked out, and then I got to get Jackson on board with doing homeschool because we are meeting friends at the pool later. Jackson and I go and we get in the lazy river and we float round and round and round. It's really small. It's no bigger than a track, like you walk a track or run track on. But we go round and round and round that thing for hours. And the rest of the whole afternoon and evening we'll be dizzy because we've been around in hours on the water so long. But we love it, and we love meeting our friends there. And like I said before, they're moving away soon, so we're trying to get as much time with them as we possibly can. So excuse this greasy, messy hair. I saw no reason to get fixed up to mow and then go swim. But I hope you're having a good day, whatever you do, and I'll catch back up with you later. All right, I got a drink, got my face washed, cleaned up a bit, got some caffeine, and realized what a blessing it was that I went out and mowed. You know, some things happen for a reason, I guess. I'm not usually one to get up and want to mow, but something kept telling me this morning that I should just go get it done. You know, I could have paid my son to do it, but I just thought, just go do it, you know, just go do it. And through the process of mowing, I realized that when I switched to my new phone a couple of days ago, when I switched everything over, my security cameras did not link up to my new phone. So I don't know how long it would have taken me to realize that. And the fact that we do live in a city, we live in a nice neighborhood. I love our neighbors. I love where we live, but we do live in a city, and we live in a city with a lot of crime. I would never want to be without my security cameras. So that was a blessing in disguise. It didn't take but a second to link them back up. And there I was mowing the yard. I was wondering, when I looked at my phone, it dawned on me that I didn't have 50 notifications that someone was in the yard or someone was on the porch or any of that. And I thought, well, that's weird. And then realized that they hadn't linked up. So I got that fixed. Maybe that was God telling me this morning, get out there and mow, because you need to figure out your cameras are on. So listen to that little voice that tells you to do things, because it's usually right. You should get up and do it. Anyway, I'm in the homeschool room. Sometimes if I go ahead and head out here and tell Jackson just to come out when he's ready, things go a little bit more smoothly than if I just put that demand on him that it's time to go, let's go. One of these days I'll do a video on pathological demand avoidance. Jackson has major anxiety triggered when he has a demand placed on him. We work around that by giving options and choices and all of that stuff, which I'll talk about that someday. But today I said I'm going to go ahead and I'll head out to the homeschool room and you come on out when you're ready. And I have plenty to do in here. I can be getting worksheets ready. I can just sit in here and enjoy the quiet. I dusted a little bit ago. I did bring out his library stuff. I put together the passport so that he can, you know, do whatever he wants in it. We can even put his little picture here. He can talk about places he's been or wants to go. And then it has a little map here. And like I said yesterday, he can do whatever he wants with it, but I thought it would be fun. And I thought I might bring it out here to show it to him at first and see if he wants to do something with it here. And if not, he can take it in and play with it. And I hung up his reading log on the little refrigerator in here because in the house, I have a great big container in the kitchen full of markers, crayons, pencils, and all of that. But to get one out every day to color this, you know, if we're not already getting that stuff out, I don't want to have to mess with that. We already have a whole variety of colored pencils, markers, and crayons in here in the homeschool room. So I thought it would be just a good time for us to remember every single day for him to color in a square. Jackson reads every day anyway. Jackson reads all the time. If you walk into Jackson's bedroom, he's a messy kid. He has stuff all over his room, but that's his space. All I ask is that he pick up the floor once a day before he goes to bed or before he gets on his electronics. Just to pick up the floor so we're not tripping over stuff. But he is a collector of things, and he has a lot of things in his room, and he doesn't want them picked up and put away. He likes his stuff out where he can see it, and he knows where it is most of the time. But anyway, if you ever go in his room and you look in there, you'll see random books scattered everywhere. He has books piled all over his bed. He has a bookshelf absolutely full. He has other little boxed book sets sitting around. There's books all over the floor. And how do you complain about that? How do you complain about a kid that loves to read? And I've never pushed that on Jackson. He loves to read. My older daughter always loved to read, and my middle son absolutely hated it. Hated reading. The only thing I could get my middle son to read was I subscribed to him a truck magazine and a motorcycle magazine, and he would read articles in that. And I was happy with that because reading is reading. But Jackson, from the time he was a baby, he was fascinated with books. As a toddler, he was fascinated with the alphabet and the letters. And by the time Jackson was 2 or 2.5, he knew every letter and every sound. And by the time he was 3 to 3.5, he was already reading simple words. And by the time he was 4, he could read pretty much any beginner reader. He just has a love for language and always has. So reading is not the issue. The issue with us will be remembering to actually color one of these things in every time. Last summer we got down to the end of the month and I knew he had read every day, and he like scribbled in every color of the same color, you know, every spot of the same color. And that's not usually his style. He usually likes to make pretty art and color things in a variety of ways. I love the way he colors. He doesn't often color things the way I would, because I would color them in a literal fashion the way that I think they should be. And he will make it all rainbow and sparkly, and however he wants it, he will make it. So I brought that out here. That was a long rant just to say I brought that out here and hang it up so he can actually color in a space every day. But anyway, I'm sorry if you don't like my rambling. I thought it would be hard to talk to a camera, and more I found myself that I could sit here and just talk for 20 whole minutes, probably saying just 1 or 2 things. But we're going to get on with that. I am going to get out our math for the day. Today we're going to be working in menu math. We have worked a lot of times in menu math books. This one is a little bit higher level than the other ones. Jackson has been learning to figure out pay rate, figure out timesheet, figure out how to add taxes onto a ticket, you know, when you take somebody's order. And like the last menu math book we had covered, like if somebody buys 3 cheeseburgers, how much will it cost? Or if someone buys 4 milkshakes, how much will it cost? This one is even more involved, because in this one you might be solving one ticket for a group of 6 people ordering all different things, and then at the end of figuring the ticket you figure the subtotal and add the tax and then the total, and then it'll tell you how many people are splitting the bill. So then you split the bill up. So it's a little bit more advanced per problem, like each problem has more. But when we do these type of problems, Jackson is a little bit overwhelmed with a whole workbook, so I like to print off just one sheet at a time. Here's the menu that goes with menu math, and I like to print off just one worksheet. Here's some that have the word problem style. Jackson actually likes that. And then here's some where we're figuring timesheets. Here's some where he's figuring the actual ticket. You can see that he's already done a couple on here. Another thing we do to make it easier is instead of doing a whole page, I say, let's do one by hand and one with a calculator. That way it's plenty of practice. If you practice something one time a day, every single day, you're going to get really good at it. And it's less overwhelming because we're only doing two. And it's even less overwhelming because we're not doing it all written. We're learning calculator skills and written skills. I may talk about this in another video too, but because of some of the struggles Jackson has and the deficits he has, anything done on paper is extremely hard for him. So his math skills are far above what he can show you on a worksheet or on paper. So we don't strictly work on, I know a lot of 5th graders don't get to use a calculator, but when we can reach higher and higher math because Jackson used a calculator, that's what we're going to do, because he just doesn't have the executive functioning and he doesn't have the short-term memory to do multi-step problems on paper. He gets lost. And he could easily do it. He understands the math. He knows what it's asking. He can very easily do it on a calculator. And so we just do it that way. I don't want to hold him back because he can't do it on a piece of paper. And I figure in this day and age, no matter what job you have access to a calculator, or you have a computer program that you just punch the numbers into and it figures it for you. So as long as he understands the math, we keep moving forward. So anyway, I'm going to get that ready, and then we're going to get math done. And that I'll probably end this video here unless we get up to something else later. Maybe not. I don't think I've done anything but mow and chit chat, so maybe we'll figure something out to do later. But anyway, I'm gonna get off here for right now, and I'll catch back up to you later. I hope you're having a great day too. We made it to the pool. It's not crowded at all today, I guess because it's not very hot. But we're having a great time. I just got out of the lazy river. It is pretty cold, but once you get in, you get used to it. So I came to get a drink and dry off for a minute, and then I'm gonna get back in and hang out with Jackson. What do you want, baby?
My scarf.
We made it home. We had a great time. I don't think we got too sunburned. My face is a little pink, but I had plenty of sunblock on. We had a great time. Now we're tired and ready to relax, kind of do our own thing for the rest of the day. And so I thought I would just hop on and say goodbye, and I will see you guys tomorrow. I hope you're enjoying the videos.